One of our past guests, our recent guest, Cynthia Barnes, pointed out that women in sales get 80 cents on the dollar compared to men. I believe this is women in all industries, but that's not cool. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about it and what we can do to fix it. This is an important subject, and I hope that you can take it and apply it and also pass it on to someone else. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast here on TSC TV on YouTube. I'm your host, Donald Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we have Miss Jaunai Walker, and I'm coming to you, yes, from downstairs in my house. We're doing something different. We're recording some podcast episodes for some other podcasts, and I figured I'll just go ahead and do some introductions here as well. Now, Jaunai and I did this interview. It was recorded in my typical studio, but you're gonna see behind her when she's in her office all these awards that she has, and she's done amazingly well. She comes with some experience from the medical field, but you're gonna see also from her experience that she still faced challenges. And why in the world are women still getting paid less than men? It just doesn't make sense. Well, there's some great insights up ahead. Let's go ahead and dive into the episode. Jaunai, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. This is such an exciting opportunity for me because I could literally talk about sales like in my sleep. I just love talking about it.
And see, this is what this is why we need to go to the all-wise, all-knowing Facebook, because I went to Facebook and then I was trying to connect and saying, who do I know that could speak on, a good woman salesperson, and then you came up and was recommended. So
that's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, I'm so excited that she did that because that's what I want to be known for.
Yeah,
I want to be known as a person that lives out, what I've been called to do. I've been doing this for almost 20 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. What have you been your main field that you spend time in?
So right now I'm in medical sales. I've been in medical sales since about 2007, but I started selling right out of grad school. It was my first job. So I started off in advertising sales, then went over into education, which is still selling. And then in 2007, I was fortunate enough to get my first opportunity. Someone took a chance on me and landed into medical sales, and I've pretty much been here ever since.
Oh man, look at that. And I'm glad somebody took a chance on you and to make that happen. I think we all have that story where somebody they're like, let me see what this kid can do. Let me see what can get done. And
yeah.
Yeah. So, but you've a lot of experience now with this, and you come back with this experience of working for different companies, interacting with different people. But this is prevalent in the business world. I think that the studies show that women get 80 cents on the dollar compared to men. Open up the mic, open mic now. So let's talk about why. Why are women getting paid less than male in sales?
Well, as much as I would like to blame all of it on everyone else except for us, I really do believe that we have to take a look at ourselves, right? And really take a look at what we're putting out there. So I think a lot of it too is, for salespeople, when you think about the 80s movies that showed the sales professionals, they were seen as slimy. They were seen as, somebody that was over talking, just not really listening, somebody that really just wanted to make a buck. And so when we have those thoughts in our head, I think that women in general, the perception of a salesperson kind of remained with us in the back of our head. So I think part of it too is, our mindset going into actually what a salesperson or a saleswoman is. So I think that's part of it. The second part of it is I believe that we, when we get into the interviews, we promote way less. We promote ourselves, I should say, way less than men do because we don't want to be seen as braggadocious. We don't want to be seen as the slimy salesperson, right? So we tend to go in as heart centered as we are, right? And we almost, in a sense, do ourselves a disservice because when you are going up against a whole bunch of people who come into that room and they just throw everything out there. They pretty much just vomit on the interviewer, right? and and you come in and you're just like, well, I've done this and I've done that, and you don't really sound as confident. We are seen as less confident, but then because we are seen as less confident, we often get pigeonholed into looking as if we're less competent.
Ooh, I think that needs to be in our like our click to tweet or something. Yeah, but you're so true on that, and I think it's if you, I because I think if I was to put it into a my finger on, I think a lot of times too when the hiring manager, the person that a lot of times being do an interview, maybe it's that guy that's the sales manager or
Mhm.
a male counterpart, and then the male counterpart is like, yeah, it doesn't seem like this person has that drive for selling, so
Right.
therefore, or doesn't have that experience as Bob does. But Bob and you went to the same college, so therefore you know what Bob tells you that he wants to make. So then you're gonna give him that, as opposed to we have this new person coming in. And she wants to do sales. I think she could do it. I'm gonna give her the base salary that we have out there rather than
Yeah.
the Bob thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We also don't ask or negotiate as much, right?
Why is that? Is that just still the same thing? Like not too pushy?
Well, I think is we don't want to be seen as pushy, but I also believe that we get a little scared that if we get to that point to where they're that interested in us, we don't want to scare them off
Hmm.
by saying we deserve more money, right?
Yeah.
And so I just took a class at FAU, a women's executive leadership class, and one of the classes was on negotiation. And the first thing they said was that women just don't ask. We just don't do it. And I think there's a variety of reasons, but I think a lot of it comes down to fear of not being enough.
Oh man,
Hmm.
that's a powerful one there. And I think it's for I'm thinking about it like not being enough. Like it's I just think about how much we undersell ourselves because that probably just doesn't apply only to sales. If we don't think we're enough, we undersell ourselves sometimes maybe in our relationships or the what we could accomplish in life. Like I don't deserve that house, I don't deserve that type of car, so therefore this is the thing that I'm pigeonhole myself in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it transcends different parts of our life. But the one area, the biggest gap is in the performance mode and when we're just doing life,
Yeah.
right? So if you were to ask me, I'm a beast out there in in those sales streets, right?
Yeah.
But if you're talking to me as the person, you're just talking about sales or we're just having a conversation, or it could just be a simple date. I'm like, oh my God, what do I say? How do I make this person like me? And so there's a gap. There's
Yeah.
a gap there. It's almost like, when I go out and I'm selling, I'm a completely different person,
Yeah.
and so I feel like one of the solutions is showing us how to bridge that gap of, who we are out there in those sales conversations versus who we are over here in every other aspect of our life because we have it. The evidence is there because women, no offense,
Yeah.
have shown that we are better closers, right?
Hmm.
Than men. And so we have it. The proof is there. It's just, where does that confidence go in the other parts, especially when negotiating or asking for a higher salary or even asking somebody on a date? We get nervous for that, right? So
Yeah, there's you're bringing up so much right now, and I think it's given us a better understanding. So for all the women listening, I hope you can get a lot from this, and all the guys listening, I want you to get a lot from this too, because you're going to be in those roles where you're going to have hire people, or you have people on your team, and you need to be those good allies to help them out, and rally around helping some of your women counterparts in your team to be able to thrive and to succeed. And in part, one of the reasons why we're doing this episode, because I feel that it's important. It's an important topic to have, and if I have a voice with our podcast, I need to make sure that's heard and it's brought up. So let's make a change. How do we go about making this change right now? The last part of this interview here. What can we do to change this?
Well, like I said, I think we have to be able to bridge the gap. That's one. The second thing is, you brought up a really good point. You're like, hey, listen, if you are a male counterpart and you are in this field, or if you are a female executive and you are in this field, when someone like myself comes into the interview and you can see from their resume, you can see from the numbers that they have it, give them a better chance at that position, because they're just not the self-promoter. I always joke with my friends and say, oh, I could sell a busted tire if I really wanted to, right? Just joking around, right? But I'm not going to show up to an interview with that. I'm going to show up a little bit more personable. I'm going to show up, as humble, yet, ready to share my stories and ready to share my experience. So we should, when we are in a position to bring in more female sales professionals, we should bring them in, and we should try to close that gender gap of salary. If you see that, you're paying a male counterpart, significantly more, then why shouldn't that female be paid, if not just, the same, if not more? So we have to take responsibility when we get our seat at the table. That's when we're able to make a difference.
Oh, love that. And I think it's the piece there that I want to express. I had interviewed one woman seller, and she said that sometimes we have and you find this with any group that's underrepresented. Sometimes it's, I'm going to get there first, and then when people behind me, sometimes you don't reach back out and help those behind us. And I think for anyone in a role where you have voice or you have that capability, you need to reach your hand back, and you need to help somebody else up to get to that point, and help them. And I think if I was to ask you now, let's think about this. Besides coming on this podcast, what are some things that you're doing right now as you're talking that you can do to help some of those young women who are listening to this, who may be in college and they're thinking about going into sales? How could you help them? What are some things that you could do for them?
Yeah, absolutely. What I will say is, don't be afraid of a sales career. Nothing in this world, from the technology that we're on right now to the same chair and headphones that you see us on, nothing in this world happens without stuff being sold, including things that we cannot see, which are ideas. Yeah. Every corporation, every business, every part of the world needs this skill set. And it's a privilege to be able to have this skill set, because it transcends so many different industries. So do not be afraid of a sales career, right? And one of the things that I am doing is I actually created a sales program specifically for people like myself that are heart-centered, right? Those people that are in their careers because they really wanted to make an impact, because sales is solution-based, right? And so we get a lot of people that are like, I just want to help people, but they might not have the sales skills to do it. And so I created a sales program called Perfect Your Pitch, Irresistible Sales Conversations That Convert, for heart-centered people who have heart-centered businesses. And I am just so excited to be taking my 18 years of experience and pouring it into the women so that way they can get more comfortable and really kind of dispel some of those sales myths out there. And they might even, uncover a skill set that they thought that they never could have, just from helping them have sales conversations. So that's my imprint on the sales field.
So where could folks get access to that?
Oh, actually, the best place to get access to that is to inbox me on any form of social media. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Jaunai Walker, MBA. You'll be able to find me there, and I will get you all set up, get you squared away, and get you into the course. And it's phenomenal. I love it.
Oh, love that. So if we were to wrap this all up, and why women get paid more than men. Why men get paid more than women? We're going to have that conversation in the next year when women are getting paid more.
Absolutely, let's do it.
But if we were to wrap that up and say that into one thing, why men are getting paid more than women, to answer that question, what would you say is that reason?
Yeah, ladies, this is our time. Let's be bold. Let's go out there and claim what's rightfully ours. We are so good at sales. We are so good at making our goals and closing sales and selling solutions, which is what people want. Let's stand up and let's step out of this uncomfortableness and let's go for what is ours. We got this.
Love it. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today, Jaunai. I appreciate you taking the time to share this wisdom with us, and I know it's going to impact some individuals. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
That was Jaunai Walker, and I want you to go ahead and connect with her because she's on fire. She's doing some amazing things right now. Scroll down if you're watching this on TSC TV on YouTube. You'll see the links. Click on them. Get back to her. Connect with her on LinkedIn, and just let her know you heard about her here on the Sales Evangelist podcast. Also, if you're watching or listening to any of our content for the first time, please go ahead and hit subscribe. It means a lot because what's going to happen, we'll be able to get notified, or you get notified whenever we produce another piece of content. And hey, who knows? Maybe some of the things are not advantageous for you right now, but you can share it with somebody else who can benefit from it. So please go ahead and share these episodes. As always, I want to thank you so much for listening. Please check out our sponsor. They're giving you some amazing gifts. Try them, test them out. What's the worst that can happen, right? Take advantage of it and see how you and your team can benefit. As always, I want you to find more ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, and I say this with all sincerity, I want you to go out each and every single day, use your mindset, use your growth mindset, and do big things. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up at the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.